myself. Yeah, why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation. Now I got rollies all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Water on bed like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. I ain't make it this far for myself. I had to prove to everybody else. I had to set them straight. I had to boss. I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate.
Burn Live, y'all. Marijuanically keeping y'all connected. Hashtagging these red eyes, changing the view with iRed, keeping underage smoking off social media, killing ourselves for your entertainment, sitting here with friends and family, starting a cannabisation. Welcome to another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Whenever time you is watching this, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. We got a few things to go over, got a couple of discussions. Hopefully we have a good 2-hour show with no bad interruptions. I'm really hoping so. I put in some titles. We gonna go over Trump guilty plea. He's a convicted felony. Is it backfiring? I heard a lot of different reports. I also seen this article we're gonna go over about trans athletes, a debate. Is Joe Biden, or people want to say Joe Biden, but people don't like to use the word Joe Biden. So is the Democratic Party losing black voters? And then also, we're going to get into body cams and plus more. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all getting into it. I am your host, Capiche. Get your blunts, get your dabs, get everything you need. Let's get into this show. I promise you, it's going to be very interesting, maybe educational for some you might not like. All right. But it is what it is. This is what we do. Let's get into it. Yeah. Welcome. First of all, everybody know about the Trump that's going on, and everybody's pretty much putting out their opinions. Good opinions, bad opinions. It's just people putting out their opinions. And the record breaking, I don't know, people know that as soon as he got convicted, in the first 10 hours, he raised like $34 million. There are people out here, I tried to explain this last time that I went live, it's a lot of people that's going out here that are announcing on Twitter and on their personal platforms like, low, I gotta support this guy because what I see is a systematic going after wrong. And a lot of people, which is crazy, is hearing 34 counts of charges, not exclusively knowing what the charges are. Just like, hey, he's charged, he's guilty, he should sit down. And I'm like, it sounds nice. It really does sound nice. And what I'm going to do for some people up here is bring on this one guy who had this interview. I see another thing I'm going to bring up too is, let me mark it as Jamal Baldwin. We covered this a while back. The guy he's a Democrat. He pulled a lawn fire. He goes on to the Breakfast Club. We're going to go discuss over him. But I'll be trying to introduce people to the Morning Millionaire Show. It's a show I watch during my off time to help motivate me into my podcast and see that, you know what I'm saying, the things that I cover are important just as well as anybody else. So I do appreciate watching this show. But this part right here was a very good discussion, and I like how he breaks it down. And it made me think about, like, maybe I'm not being as aggressive as I thought I am when I'm coming to people and I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get to the truth. I'm really trying to have a serious dialogue with somebody. So here's two people having a dialogue about Trump and his charges. And we're gonna discuss more and people, we're gonna bring up a lot of more. But I'm gonna start off with here because I just think this is a very good start to understand how we should be approaching this situation and how some people look and how other people look at it. I just think it's a good
Let me
situation.
get James up here. James, what's going on, James?
Yo, what's up, AD?
What's going on, my friend? What do you disagree with?
Well, I feel that if anyone does a crime, they should be
Do you want to be on camera or you want to just be
brought up. You can
audio?
cam me up.
You want to be on camera? You sure?
Cam me up is fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, why not?
Okay, go ahead. We're gonna get to it. All right. So what are your thoughts again? Say that again.
If anyone ever commits a crime, they should be judged. I feel, no matter what time it is, as far as if the time goes out where you can't be judged, don't be judged. But if you did the crime, just like when someone gets like shot or beat up by police, I'm like, hold up, he had a gun and he was running.
Mm-hmm.
And he just committed a crime. All right, well, that's what happened. That's what happened. Same thing with Trump. I want to vote for my boy. I don't, or any Republican that can bring us back to conservative. A conservative country. I'm for it. I live in New York. I hate what's going on politically. But if you do the crime, all right, Trump, you got convicted. You still running. I was happy to hear he's still running. All right, well, I guess they're gonna have their first president with 34 felonies. That's gonna be president.
Okay, so
But
let's mine this out a couple different ways, right? You don't think that
Mhm.
it's a little bit suspicious that they decided to bring this up now during election year when they could have brought this up 7 years ago? You don't think that this is a little bit suspicious? Just put our conspiracy
politics.
hats on real quick.
It's
We're gonna put our
it's
conspiracy hats on
politics.
backwards.
In general, yes. It's
Hey, stranger.
Hey, stranger danger. Hold
What's
on,
been
turn
up with
this
you?
off.
Huh?
Hold on, there's something on my screen.
We see you good
Oh,
and we hear you good.
okay.
When you coming back to the show?
I ain't gonna even lie. I've been working nonstop 6 days straight for 3 days, for 3 weeks. Bitch tired.
Hey,
So I'm
send
gonna
me the
take
link. I'm on my
tomorrow. I'm gonna take my 3 days off tomorrow to Wednesday. My body tired.
okay. Okay. I sure thought we was missing an MIA. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I was just working. I work Memorial Day, and then I start right in my next 4 days.
Okay.
Then it's like I'm doing everything right by myself right now because Bobby only get 4 hours. So, I gotta make sure shit good.
Trust me, I understand. I just lost my job again the last week for our
And
job is
then I
Saturday.
don't know why it's not letting you do it. You're gonna have to come to the house and
All right.
get your application in because we doing new hires right now.
And
And I'm
you
trying
you
to
know
get
I
Bobby back over here.
you know me, I'm coming with that work.
Man, they finna have another new hire real soon. I hope Bobby in that one.
Well, I'm keep looking, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna definitely keep trying.
Yeah,
I
you
got a
gotta
nice
do is
little
go to
audit.
Amazon near me and then go to the
Yeah,
one where it says sign up. I think they usually post them at 12.
yeah. I've been trying, I get off at 12, so like on my ride back, I'll be trying to look.
Yeah, they post them at 12.
But ladies and gentlemen, since I got a nice audience up in here, y'all. Shout out to Rumble, shout out to X. Y'all been holding me down. We're gonna get back into this discussion. I'm gonna rewind it because I want to personally answer this question that he was asking about the 34 charges. So therefore, I'm gonna rewind and play it again.
Just put our conspiracy
politics.
don't think that it's a little bit suspicious that they decided to bring this up now during election year when they could have brought it up 7 years ago? You don't think that this is a little bit suspicious? Just put our
It's
conspiracy
politics.
hats on real quick.
It's
We're gonna put our
it's
conspiracy hats on
politics.
backwards.
In general, yes, it's but that's how
No. Let's listen.
politics is. That's how sales is.
Let's have a real
Yes.
conversation here. Let's not posture. Let's not
Okay.
give the politically correct answer. Let's be honest. Do you think that it's suspicious that they decided to bring this up during the 2024 election cycle?
Now, I'm gonna go off into that question and answer it for myself and be like, that it you gotta look at that and think like, ain't that suspicious? 7 years ago, y'all had everybody, y'all had these same people in order. Y'all didn't have nothing that was gonna stop you for trying to take him down. Why didn't y'all not try to take him down? Why is there a rumor out there saying that, yo, Trump, if you would have never ran, you wouldn't have been going through this. You'd have been okay. You'd have been having no charges against you if you're not around. Why would Republicans run with that? Even if it's fake, real, or whatever, why would you run with that? Why would you allow that to happen? You know what I'm saying? If y'all want a democracy to go on, you got to really look at that. You want a democracy? It's really like, if Trump get in office, is he really going to change the game? Is he going to change the game? He's already changed the game of how you promote, how you run for an election. He changed the game, y'all. Y'all got to sit up here and honestly admit to yourselves, if for a fact, you got to admit to yourself, if a person is boring that's running for office, if he's corny, because I done heard that word too, boring, corny, not motivational, don't have no swag about himself, y'all not voting for him. It's not getting voted for. So it makes you think. It makes you wonder. He changed the game, but then other things happened that Joe Biden did that, you know what I'm saying, there's still allegations or whatever, but dang, is weird. Remember this, y'all. At the end of last year, he was facing 193 felony charges. That's a lot.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's cool. And I'm with that. Let me ask you another question. Do you think that this is a targeted attack by whomever, Biden administration, whatever, right? Do you think that this is a strategic attack by them in order to try to win the election? I'm not saying that he didn't commit a crime. That's not even a conversation that I'm having. You don't think that it's strategic by the Biden administration that they're actually trying to influence what's going on in the election by doing this at this time?
I feel it's more to that. As far as politics with Letitia James, she may want to work her way up to the next position, so that's why she would go after it. The same thing will happen in Georgia. She wants to go over what she wants to try to prosecute Trump, so she can go to the next level. So it's all levels in politics. You try to go after the
But
big
you don't
fish
think that
to
nothing comes
get
out
to
of
your
this for
next
the
level.
Biden administration as far as what their strategy is to hamper him and keep him locked down in New York, off of the campaign trail, raising money and all of this stuff? You don't think that none of that stuff is relevant?
A little bit, but not really. He's going to win regardless. I feel.
Trump is
feel
going
he's
to
going to
win.
win regardless.
But we not. The debate isn't whether or not he's going to win or not, right? The people going to do whatever they want to do is when it comes to voting. My problem with this whole thing is I then start to question the election process in general, because if we can't even get the very ones that's supposed to be in charge of the country to operate above board and to allow for the people to actually participate in the election process without any kind of interference whatsoever, regardless of whether you win or you lose, then you kind of lose integrity. You kind of lose the people in general. If you don't have any faith in the very system that we use in order to elect our individuals, I think that that's a huge problem.
Basically we're asking, do y'all think that Joe Biden believes in the system that he been a part of since what? Biden been part of the system since the 50s. The 50s. He was part of the system before he was able to help infiltrate a bill or something. And then when he got older, he got of age, he got into it, he got real deep. But you know how the system works. You know that lobbyist comes around like, hey, I need this bill passed because I'm trying to get these jobs. Revenue going up, things are going up here in America because the average Joe is making money, but the rich people is making money, but them taxes is killing them. We barely, rarely ever pay attention to rich people and how they move because we're so upset at rich people and how they move. We just absolutely positively sure that rich people move the way that we don't like. That's guaranteed we don't like it, and they move that way. Not understanding that it took a fight for them to get there, and it's an everyday hustle to stay there. I'm not trying to say nobody's dumb, but I do have a small think that people see that when people get rich, like they stay there. You hear people failing and stuff like that, but the only time black people hear people failing is like Wesley Snipes, Bag, and stuff like that because of taxes. It's like we always never pay taxes, but yet again, we always faltering the black person, especially in a black person, or we always falter a rich person because they were doing something faulty, not because they wasn't well educated. But when they're rich and they stay rich, oh man, hand me down. They doing something wrong. It's corrupted. Not everybody's corrupted. Some people know how to do legal things that we may still think is wrong, but they still do it the right way. And I think that's where we look at rich and be like, okay, we got a problem. But yet again, rich people do things the right way to get away with what they want to get away with.
All I know is I have a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the littlest check I write out when someone helps me with my business, my accountant's calling me saying, "What's this?" Oh, well, if this person's going to be helping you, you have to pay him differently than if you should just write a check to one of my nephews to help me. I sell sneakers online. That's what I do. And I pay my nephews to come with me to go sell sneakers or to buy more sneakers at the store because I have a limit.
Okay.
But my accountant's like, all right, you have to pay him differently. You can't just write a check to, Joe Smo. You have to put it in the comments. But if Trump said, listen, pay these people off, but then in the memo of his checks he was writing, saying, oh, this is payback for my attorney for attorney fees. But Joe, you just paid off the stripper, you paid off the Playboy model, you paid off the other guy that you did whatever with, and that you paid off all these people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the memo section in the checks. It's like the business practices. I won't teach my son to do anything wrong. I don't want him running a stop sign.
Bullshit.
I don't want my son running a stop sign.
Listen, man. If your son, man, listen, nobody is validating that is right. That's not the debate here that I'm having. It's not whether or not it's right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that you're a little bit disingenuous, my friend. James.
Go ahead.
If you had a chick that came from your past and say, hey, man, James was busting it down for a real one, man, it was going to affect what you had going on with your jobs. He said, hey, James, just send me 5 bands and I'll leave you alone forever. You sending that check?
I would send the check.
I know you would send a check.
But I wouldn't tell my attorney. I wouldn't tell my accountant.
James.
Send the check and say it was my nephew for helping me sell items.
James.
Go ahead.
You sending the check, James?
Not my business account though.
Yet again, I like this, and I didn't even get to watch this, but yet again, right here is the prime best example for the situation for you to look at. If you was running a business and that freak Neek from back in the day come knocking at your door, doom, 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 doom. I know you didn't know this, but I got sex tapes of us spinning and bending and bending and spinning. Y'all know that. Y'all know that's my word. Are you gonna write the check to keep your business so your family can stay afloat, so you get your establishment keep going? That is the question. That is what was brought to the table with Trump. This is my situation. How am I gonna keep it thugging? This is my situation. How am I keep it thugging for my black folks? You gonna pay whatever that is because you don't want your business out there. You want stuff that you are embarrassed or ashamed of to go away and not come back. So yes, you did that. I'm trying to run for an election. This prostitute I spent and bent, I'm gonna pay her off. So what? Ladies and gentlemen, is paying off a prostitute worth it than getting your dick sucked in an Oval Office? I think that's another question kind of trying to bring up. And if you think both of them are equal, then you need to go holler at Bill Clinton like, hey, bro, I think you should have did time. You was a president. But yet again, was that guiltiness? How did that look towards y'all? And nowadays, today in society, how does that look? Which is worse? Paying off somebody you spent and bent a long time ago, or getting your dicks up in the Oval Office? Which is worse? Because other than that, y'all need to figure it out. And if that's how you should vote, that's how you should look at it. Like, damn, Joe Biden ain't did none of that. So then you should vote for Joe. If you thinking that having any oral relationships with a woman while you in president is more disgusting because of the statue and the title of your position, then yeah, don't vote for Trump at all. Because it makes sense. I know it sounded big, but that's how you gotta look at it. And for us people that are Trump, we looking at some of these situations like, bro, I heard that you know what I'm saying, did this, Trump, and I don't know if I want to vote for you.
Okay, so you picking a different, but you still sending the check though, right?
I was definitely send a check.
That's all I want to know.
Definitely.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm with it, James. I like that. I like you, James.
Business practices. All right, AD. I rock with you, my boy.
I rock with you too, my dog.
I had to call. I was gonna call up last night, but I was like, nah. All right, let me. But then you said, "Oh, it's up there today." I was like, "All right, I gotta call. Let's go, man." But that's just how I feel. I'm still voting for the boy. I hate what Biden's doing. The open borders is crazy. New York is crazy. I gotta watch my back when I go to New York to handle business. Yeah, just because the people are out there, they starving. It's not their fault. They thought they was gonna get everything free. Now that they kicking them out, they just walking around the streets. It's crazy. It's crazy out there.
Mm-hmm. I feel you.
That's crazy, ladies and gentlemen, to hear stories. And oh my God, y'all didn't even hear it. I'm so sorry. But just to even hear a story, yes, y'all should have heard it. But not to hear it. If y'all didn't hear it, just to hear that New Yorkers, it's dangerous for them to go outside now because they got to deal with people who thought they were going to get something free and they're not free anymore. So therefore, they're tetrified, they're shaken up, they're bothered, they're triggered. Okay. So, new allegations, y'all. New allegations have came out in the last 2 days that during The Apprentice, Donald J. Trump said the N-word. He called a black man a nigger. supposed to be a tape of this and all types of stuff. It's really supposed to be going down, y'all. It's so to say. But yet again, it's supposed to be a tape. Allegations not out. The man went on the news. I think I watched it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm kind of looking for it, but I just assume it's not there, which you would think it'd be there. This guy talking about it. I can't say her name. I can't say her last name right, but Anna from Young Turk. She's discussing it and going over it. And you just be amazed what she was.
Over at Slate titled "The Donald Trump I Saw on The Apprentice." For 20 years, I couldn't say what I watched the former president do on the set of the show that changed everything. Now I can. And so he kind of sets up the story by giving the context, and then he talks about very specific examples of Trump being incredibly misogynistic and sexist on set, while also saying deeply racist things. So we'll get to that in a moment. He says, I was one of 4 producers involved in the first 2 seasons. During that time, I signed an expansive non-disclosure agreement that promised a fine of $5 million and even jail time if I were to ever divulge what actually happened. It expired this year. No one involved in The Apprentice, from the production company or the network to the cast and crew, was involved in a con with malicious intent. It was a TV show and it was made for entertainment. I still believe that, but we played fast and loose with the facts, particularly regarding Trump. And if you were one of the 28 million who tuned in, chances are you were conned. And so we've heard some of these allegations before that Trump wasn't really like as successful as he claimed to be. But let's get into the details about the sexism and racism after Cenk makes a very concise point.
That's funny. Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our, and I want to get into not just the racist stuff, but how they built up this con together. NBC and Trump together decided to con the American people into believing that he was a successful businessman. I think that tells you more about the media than it does about Donald Trump. And I don't want you to miss that part of the story. So we'll get to it in a second.
Definitely. So let's start with the alleged sexism on set.
They call it a con because it was one of the most #1 successful rating shows at that time. Are we forgetting that? Okay.
Bill Pruitt writes, while leering at a female camera assistant or assessing the physical attributes of a female contestant for whoever is listening, he orders a female camera operator off an elevator on which she is about to film him. She's too heavy, I hear him say. Jesus. So this is very similar to what he would say about Miss America contestants if he believed that they were overweight. And then after he was accused of that, he would double down on it kind of shamelessly. So that's part of the reason why I don't think that these allegations are really gonna make a difference at all. Certainly not with the voters and who they're currently.
True. Anything that people saying about Trump right now is just a bunch of waste of time. They're not gonna stick or nothing. But yet again, I want to hear Mr. Jamal Bowman talk about the election because, of course, what he did wasn't wrong.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Welcome.
What's up, man? What's up?
How you feeling?
Great. 17 days away from early voting, man. Really excited about my campaign. Really excited to continue to build this grassroots movement we've been building for the last 4 years. I'm hyped, man. I'm ready to go.
You in the fight of your life right now, man. I saw New York Magazine say that you are the most endangered Democrat in America.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, you can't speak up for black people. You know, you can't speak up for Gaza. You know what I mean? As soon as you start speaking up for black and brown people, they're gonna attack you. That's how white supremacy works. And so, you know, I had the audacity to call for a permanent ceasefire very early on because we heard what they were saying. They talking about Amalek and cutting off food and water and using white phosphorus and, you know, using genocidal language. And so we called for a ceasefire early. And when you do that, AIPAC is going to attack you. They don't want any kind of criticism of Israel. And so we did that, and they've been coming after us. They're going to spend more money in this race than they have ever spent in history to get the first black man, first person of color in U.S. history out of this seat.
Oh, the $2 million, right?
No, $2 million a week.
$2 million a week.
Oh, yeah, by the time we get to the end, it's going to be like 20-something million. So even back in October, they were running negative ads against me, trying to bully me into, taking the position they wanted me to take. And since over the last 3 weeks, they've been spending like $2 million a week. And election day is June 25th. So they're going to spend $2 million a week up until election day. It'll be the most expensive primary in U.S. history. So,
is the seat worth that much?
Shit, to them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To them, it's worth that much because think about it. Before I was in office, before I was in this seat, it was Congressman Elliot Engel, who was the number one pro-Israel hawk, war hawk, chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee. He was there for 30 years, and right next to him was Nita Lowey, who never had any criticism about Israel. Now you got me coming in, and I'm not against any state or whatever, but it's about human rights. It's about justice. Like if you're not taking care of the people next to you and we're not doing the right work for a Palestinian state and a free Palestine, I'm going to call that out. Mm-hmm. And so to them, they don't want any criticism. They don't want anyone calling it out. And so I've been calling it out from the beginning. But at the same time, our foreign policy and what we're trying to stop there connects to what's happening here. This is a group.
Y'all should already know where I have a problem with this at. You up here sitting here worried about Palestine, where you're not worried about your black folks in the streets. Like you said, I'm speaking up for black and brown, but yet again, we got a problem here in the streets, and you worry about a whole nother country. You have to send your money out of the country, so you look good. Like, make that make sense, brother. I don't understand why your community ain't looking at you like you funny. But yet again, I get it. Like people are in their emotions about a war because they have some heritage that go back to that country. But yet again, Hamas, and they're not going to confront him on it, Jamal on it. But Hamas been saying death to America for a long time. You have other Palestinians, people from over in that country, so don't get it twisted. I want peace on war, but yet again, I don't want to be on peace on war and be like, hey man, peace to the country that don't like me. It's a difference when you don't like me. It's a difference when you really don't want to come over here. You're only coming over here for the free bag or something that we have to pay for. It's a difference when we're just saying, this is the reason, and go ahead with it. But yet again, it's a different reason when it's more of a situation that has nothing to do with us. Now, do you want us to come in? We're going to stick our policies in over there. We're going to stick what we believe in over there, and you're not going to like that. So, yes, I'm more want to stay out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I need to quit fighting. Stop. But you know that it doesn't happen like that anymore.
AIPAC, they're a racist organization, first and foremost. 85% of their money go towards targeting black and brown people, right? That's number one. Number two,
is that true?
100%.
Okay.
And my opponent, who's working with them, who's endorsed by them, has a record that doesn't reflect doing anything for black and brown people or very little over the course of his career. Mm-hmm. And so they don't care about black and brown people in my district. They don't care about people of Gaza. They just care about their own power. And so that's why they're coming for it. But we ain't going to let them buy this seat from the people. We decide. The people decide. The black and brown people, progressive people, diverse coalition that we have decide on who's going to win this election on the 25th.
Now, George Latimer, that's who you have, right? From what I read, him and AIPAC have said some pretty racist comments towards you. Yeah. They said they put out a mailer. I haven't seen it, where your skin was darkened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, why?
Yo, that's standard operating procedure, and that ain't even the worst of it.
And they said they wish you had a stroke.
Yo, son.
I like how he says standard operating procedures. If it was that standard proper procedure, it sounds like a manual. It sounds like it's a book out there, if I'm not mistaken. that's what it sounds like to me. So where's this book? Show me the book. I'm like, right here, white supremacists. White supremacists. That's what we be looking for.
He posted something on his Facebook page. People started commenting on this post saying they hope I have a stroke and referring to me as a thug. He did not even comment. He didn't denounce it. He didn't condemn it. He didn't even take it down until the Working Families Party wrote him a letter, wrote a public letter that put pressure on him, and then he took it down. He said at a Black History event in New Rochelle, 2 Black people, that I take money from Hamas. He said this publicly. And our lawyers had to send him a cease and desist letter. Don't talk about me like that, or else we're going to go after you. And then he tried to deny and say, no, I say take money from supporters of Hamas, which is also fucked up to say too, right? But so you're saying I take money from a terrorist organization. You're endorsed by a racist organization. Most of their money come from racist MAGA right-wing Republicans. They're funded by MAGA Republicans. Same Republicans taking our voting rights. Same people going after our affirmative action.
Notice it's cool how you just say MAGA people, MAGA Republicans, and as y'all seen in the Bronx, and y'all know we cover on this show, and people that go to Trump rally know that Trump stuff is very diverse. So are the Black people and the Mexicans and the Latinos and the LGBTQ that actually run with Trump, are we all racist? Are we really racist? I'm just curious. I'm just asking a question because I'm listening to him. And it's not like he's saying white MAGA. He's just saying MAGA Trump support. Or maybe I heard that wrong. Maybe I'm tripping.
And then he tried to deny and say, no, I say take money from supporters of Hamas, which is also fucked up to say too, right? But so you're saying I take money from a terrorist organization. You're endorsed by a racist organization. Most of their money come from racist MAGA right-wing Republicans. They're funded by MAGA Republicans. Same Republicans taking our voting rights. Same people going out.
Okay, so yeah, we heard that correctly. He didn't name no color. He just said Trump MAGA. So yeah, all of us Mexicans, Latinos. Okay, cool. I'm sorry. Let's go.
After our affirmative action, women's right to choose, same people who supported the insurrectionists. This the people my so-called Democrat opponent, is partnering with to again go after the first Black man in this seat.
And what's the demographics in your district?
It's majority minority, majority Black and Latino, a very large pro-Israel component.
Ladies and gentlemen, I really want y'all to, I'm gonna break this down because I'm hearing this and how he presented is 2 different ways. Okay. Who's in your district? Who the people that you represent? Okay. Who the people that voted for you to get into this chair? Who do you represent? All right. That's what he's saying. That's what he's asking. That's what we need to get to the bottom of. That's what he just been answered. And I want y'all to hear the demographic that's going to vote for him and whatever policies that he is trying to infiltrate or that the people want him to put into office.
Look, what's the demographics in your district?
It's majority minority, majority Black and Latino, a very large pro-Israel component, right?
Very large Jewish.
Well, not just Jewish. I want to talk about them as a monolith. They're different, right? Because there's Jews for Jamal. Shout out to Jews for Jamal out there. You know, they support me tremendously. Jewish Voices for Peace, if not now. These are great organizations working on good foreign policy. But there is a pro-Israel segment of the district that's very active, very outraged about my position, and they're going to go out and vote. Like, this is the ultimate get your ass out and vote race. Like the Black and brown people say, oh, I don't vote this now, whatever. This is the ultimate. This is the ultimate moment to show our power. There are 40,000 Black and Latino men in the district who have never voted before. Like, they don't even understand. They could have decided governor. They could have decided county executive. They could have decided local mayor, and they can now decide a congressman. They've never voted before.
Why do you think they're not energized? Like, why do you feel
well,
like
you know why? I mean, we know why, right? It's a political system has never really done anything for Black people on a big level, right? Like, so we are co-sponsor of a resolution calling for 16 trillion, I think 12 trillion in reparations for black people. My opponent is against that. My opponent is like, it's not realistic. We don't need to be talking about reparations for black people at this time. So if you're black in America, for example, and the federal government has never taken up the issue of reparations very seriously, why are you going to be engaged in what's happening in the political process? The difference now is you got someone like me there, first black man, raising the culture, single mom, working class, educator, finally in Congress, speaking the way I speak and governing with the people the way I do. And so usually, like in 2020, we tripled voters turnout from 2018. Why? Because they had a candidate they could believe in, they could connect with, so they came out.
Okay, cool. So you're telling us about your district. Your district is basically black. These are the people that's going to vote for him. You would say that's going to vote for him. So yet again, my question to him, and I hope they get to it, even though this is 43. No, they didn't have this man on here for no 40. Yes, they did.
We need those numbers and then some in this race, because if we come out to vote in big numbers, my opponent doesn't have a pathway to victory. Doesn't matter what money they spend. So this is the ultimate show our power as real progressives, people under 50, people of color.
Yet again, you got the people out here that need to vote, that want to vote, that are going to vote. And y'all mad because it's been documented through a lot of cases that saying that y'all not out here and that y'all going to want to vote. So now you got to get your people out here wanting to vote.
Well, come out. Early voting is June 15th is the first day. Come out in big numbers and just show our strength. If we do that, we change the trajectory of politics in the district, in the county, in the state, and in the country.
What's the biggest thing that you heard about yourself, or the biggest lies that they've been trying to tell, so that, you know, up here you can tell people what's true or what's not true? Because I mean,
I have people pray for me. Like when I go to church, the church prays for me. The mosque issue, the issue, not just the issue of reducing gun violence, but like we speak about and how we speak about it is very important, right? The person who was in the seat before me probably never spoke about universal child care as being a North Star where we got to go as a country, right? Never spoke about fully funding our public schools and the idea that in my district, if you live in Scarsdale, right, we're spending 10, 20,000 more per kid than if you live in the Bronx, right? Like that issue. The issue, not just the issue of reducing gun violence, but like being on the ground with the family when they lose a son and grieving with that family at a vigil, but then saying, we got to fucking do something about this because it's not just about thoughts and prayers. Okay, we got a right to Biden, telling Biden to take action on gun violence. And he did that, right? Young girl stabbed to death in Mount Vernon, right? Again, not just being with the family and showing up and talking about what's going on, having, particularly me, like I'm an educator. I have a doctorate in education. My focus has been on trauma. So I know the impact of individual and collective trauma on communities, and I use that to drive policy. So when the young girl stabbed to death, we not just thoughts and prayers. It's like, okay, what's the policy solution here? How do we bring in money to target at-risk girls so they have a place to go and something to do that's not just about, the normal things we have girls do, cutie and cheerleading and all that. There's other things. So it's about that kind of thing. So it's about lived experiences. My lived experiences.
Okay, where are the good juicy parts at? I know
way more governing. We did way more. We passed way more laws, did way more good things. And so he's been empowering Hamas to undermine the PLO and the Palestinian Authority so that they don't rise up as quick.
Got rid of the filibuster.
Like the democracy reform, because it's not like a simple majority in the Senate could pass a bill. You need 60-40. And so what we have is minority rule where 50 senators from smaller states with less people have as much power than the 50 senators, right? So that's part of it. But in terms of the rematch, like, again, support Biden and hope he wins so we can govern together and do more stuff. But what they represent, both of them, I hope is the end of that kind of politics.
Man,
It's time to evolve into the democracy we can be for everyone, right? And we need new candidates, right? We need Ayanna Presley. We need, Wes Moore. We need Gretchen Whitmore. We need
Governor Shapiro.
Yeah, we need new thinking people. Yeah. Governor Shapiro, people with new ideas, new thoughts, engage the community differently. And that has to happen in 2028. I hate talking about that now. My hope is whoever wins this election, I hope it's not Biden. I mean, Trump, who tries to do some stay in office forever shit, and we could get him out.
Fox News gonna run with that.
Yeah.
I hope it's not Biden. They're gonna run with that, right?
Only people that say that are Democrats. They love, and that's crazy. They love of the idea of him staying in more than 4 years than us Republicans saying, oh yeah, it's just 4 more years. Just 4 more years. That's crazy. But
because I don't know what he's going to do, and I don't know how the military is going to respond to his orders, and like real dangerous shit.
Right.
But whoever it is, if it's 4 years, like 2028, it got to be a whole new America.
Absolutely.
And a whole new foreign policy. So that's my hope.
A couple more questions. Really, just one. They had a story out there that you had a secret YouTube page.
Yeah.
And you were subscribed to channels.
Heck nah. We're not even finna get into it. Basically, somewhere up in here, it's the good talk.
Oh,
clearly you are, and clearly APAC thinks otherwise too. So
I don't know, man. I think there's purity tests out there. You know what I mean? Where like, oh, if you don't say this word this way in this medium, then you're not critical. But are historically oppressed, and so we have to. These are war crimes, and what could have been done is a surgical response to get Hamas. But here's the bigger picture here. Hamas is not a people; it's an idea. It's an idea that festers and nurtures in the minds of people who are historically oppressed, and so we have to deal with the oppression, not just the people who have been nurtured as a result of the oppression. So Israel's been referred to as an apartheid state, not Jamal Bowman's words. The UN, Human Rights Watch, other organizations, apartheid state, right? So that means these people are.
Yeah, he more boring than he extra more boring than I thought. He really just boring. I'm just gonna have to keep it real and say that yeah. I thought he had a little bit more to say on that. I got a better discussion with Piers Morgan. The Piers Morgan show was a very good show, and they were talking about transgender. Yeah, this transgender thing. And it's just a little bit. Yeah, I watched just a little bit of this. I thought this was pretty cool. Yeah, I think this was very educational. I'm going to do this after we take a quick commercial break. And we are back. I appreciate y'all tuning in with me. Hold on. Sorry about that. Now, yet again, there's still been this debate about transgender athletes, and it's still a big debate. And Piers Morgan, I think, first of all, Piers Morgan has the best diverse group to people to discuss a type of situation like this that's going on. And I think it's beautiful that he has the most diverse. It may get a little strange, it may get a little awkward, but you do get to hear different arguments. And I think that's what I also be wanting to show y'all is different arguments from different people's sides of situation when it comes to different things that are going on. So yet again, we're going to get into this. And yeah.
Right yes, trans people deserve the same rights and respect as everybody else. They should have fairness and equality. Should have the same human rights as me. But you can't consistently assert the massive physical differences that come from being born male or female and compete in sport. Those rights cannot come at the expense of women's rights to fairness and equality in their own sport. Now, for years, anyone prepared to speak up about this, like me, was instantly shamed and vilified as a transphobe. But the reaction of the crowd in Oregon, which is actually skews more liberal than conservative, shows the silent majority might finally be fighting back and letting their feelings be heard loud and clear. Well, joining me to debate this and more are comedian and podcaster James Barr, uncensored contributor Esther Kraken, Outkick host Tommy Lahren, and the host of the Bituation Room podcast, Francesca Fiorentini. So welcome to all of you. Tommy, let me start with you. I watched a video of this as a father of a 12-year-old girl who loves a bit of sport. And honestly, my heart just sank. But when I heard the booing, I was thrilled, not because the athlete was being booed. I felt awful for the trans athlete, but because I finally felt that the silent majority were finding their voice. What did you think?
Yeah, I also think that it's big that this happened in a place like Oregon. Oregon is not conservative, maybe certain parts, but certainly the majority of Oregon is certainly more on the left side. So I think the fact that the crowd is saying, hey, this is unacceptable, that's a big moment. But we just have to stop denying this, Piers. I mean, the silent majority, and I would agree that the majority, actually, the more vocal majority now, is saying that this is absolutely ludicrous. And listen, I think we need to stop talking about biological men competing against biological women in women's sports. This is a trans person, a trans woman competing against actual women. Stop dismissing women by calling us biological women. We are just women. So I want to put that out there first.
Yeah, I agree.
Why are we constantly, and when I say we, why is popular culture constantly asserting that trans people, their feelings, their emotions, their inclusion is more important than the majority of women who just want to have fairness, want to compete, want to have achievements, accomplishments, and opportunities? Why do their feelings matter more than the feelings of the women that they're competing against? It's ridiculous. We keep coddling and kowtowing to this madness. I hope we're seeing the end of it, and I think within the next couple of years we will.
Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed that every woman, frankly, doesn't agree with you because the unfairness and inequality is so obvious. But Francesca, I can see you actually going berserk here with indignation. So presumably you don't agree.
I mean, please don't speak for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, either of you, please don't speak for me. Please don't speak for all women. Just let's get that out of the way right now, because I do disagree. I think about what if your 12-year-old kid was Aiden? Wouldn't that be incredible? Wouldn't you be proud of Aiden?
No.
And how much would it?
No, absolutely not. Unless
you're going to ask a guy, a real guy, a man, hey, if your son was pretending to be a girl, competing in girl sports, winning, dominating, how would you feel? I'm gonna look at them crazy. I'm gonna look at them a little awkward. It's gonna be a little difficulty for me to understand why is we going through these circumstances. I don't know if y'all think like that. I do, and I'm sorry. It wouldn't really to me make sense. Like, you're beating women. You're a guy. Well, Daddy, I'm a girl. Okay, but you're still a guy. So it doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
Unless that child had not even reached puberty, and in the case of my daughter, for example, and someone is trying to convince her that if you just put your hand up and say that you're a boy, you can suddenly compete against a different biological sex. I'd say it's all madness.
Piers, this is what's crazy about it. Do you think that that's what's driving trans women to compete as athletes, is that they're like, if I transition to become a woman, I can win a gold medal in a high school track and meet competition.
Well, no, hang on, Francesca. I don't care.
That is so absurd to me. It's the same thing. Hang on, let me speak.
I don't care. The reality is they're doing it, right? And the point is that to me, the answer is obvious.
They're not doing it to win a medal. They're doing it because that is their identity.
But they're winning medals at the expense of actual women who can't compete with them physically.
Okay.
It's why,
Can I just say,
we separate
I'm
the sexes.
You know what? Like, I actually Googled this.
Hang on. I'll come to you too.
I'm embarrassed to be a woman when I see women freaking out about trans women winning one out of so many competitions.
It's not just one.
Okay.
It's happening in swimming with Leah Thomas.
Hang on.
It's happening in all sorts of sports.
Yes, because it makes us look really pathetic, honestly. It makes us look like losers and whiners. And guess what? I'm not a loser or a whiner. You know what I actually want to talk about when it comes to women's sports? Why is Caitlin Clark being paid 80 times less than her counterpart entering the NBA?
Well, that's quite straightforward too.
Because
nobody watches
Women
it.
don't want to talk about that.
Hold on. Can I ask you a question?
Women don't want to ever talk about that.
Let me ask you a question. If I hit you over the head with a bat and I said the plan wasn't to kill you, it's because you had a fly in your head, would you still not go to the police for assault? Does my intention matter? Because that's exactly what you just said.
I'm just trying to Rube Goldberg, whatever the hell it is you're saying.
That's exactly what you just said.
Basically, that makes common logical sense. I really appreciate what she said. If I hit you upside the head with a bat, and I told you I hit you upside the head with a bat because there was a fly on your head, are you going to go to the police and try to get me locked up because it seemed like to you, it seemed like attempted murder? That's what it seems like when you see a transgender guy in a female or transgender woman in a female sport dominating and winning how they're supposed to be winning. It just makes sense.
Because trans people are not identifying as trans to basically erode women's sports, that makes it okay. That's exactly what they're doing. This is
you think that's what they're doing?
You know what the trans people were put on earth. Let me finish. You know what the issue is.
Women's
you know what the issue is. You know what the issue is. You know what the issue is. They are useful idiots like you that are validating scientific nonsense. There's no such thing as gender identity. Being trans identifying is a mental illness, a reality that exists only in your head, should not be validated, and specifically not at the expense of people that are just going about their business trying to win sporting tournaments or trying to use
There's useful idiots like you that are leading to the death of trans people.
Because people
all right, let's just respond.
You can basically go to an island where all women think like you, and you can compete with all the biological men you want, but do not impose your backward views on the rest of us and have the audacity to call us regressive.
Okay, Francesca, you respond. I'll come to James.
My response is this: look, I care more about human life and people. Actually, I care about the right to privacy. I care about people surviving and living in this world. Yes, I do.
You don't seem to care about the right to privacy of biological women not wanting to share their spaces with biological men. What about them?
What about the number of trans youth who commit suicide every single year?
What about biological women not wanting to share a bathroom with a biological man? Talk about that. Don't do what about, answer that question. What about them? Do they not matter?
Look, lady, you can go into every bathroom and pick a fight with every person who you think is in the wrong bathroom. That's your prerogative.
If a man goes into a bathroom with my daughter,
a teenager,
what should I do?
A teenager being booed. Guys, let's not bully, okay? I believe it was Melania Trump who said, "Be best," and we know what bullying leads to. Stephen Miller,
you know what it
bullying,
is.
okay, but Francesca, I'm going to come to James, but because to me it's conflating two issues.
You can't say this is one hell of a diverse group on this stage. The arguments that we're worried about a guy. I mean, that's what people should look at. A guy playing a girl sport. Like, is that fair? No matter how you look at your feelings, it should be looked at like that. Should guys be playing girl sport? But yet again, we're having this argument. And not only are we having this argument, but we're trying to make the best logical discussion, make it sound perfect, make it sound reasonable, make it sound understanding as possible.
You can absolutely support trans rights to fairness and equality, as I do and consistently have. But you can also see that there is obviously a massive problem now increasing now in women's sport. And there's a reason, and we've had this conversation, James, but you gave a preposterous answer last time. There's a reason we separate sexes in the Olympics, in the World Championships, because otherwise women would never win anything.
Look, I think
so. That's why we do it. It's not because women aren't great athletes.
Women would never
They're great
win
athletes
anything.
when competing
What a quote
against people physically born
Listen,
like them.
I have so much to say. I want to explode. Firstly, Esther, you're the only thing making anyone angry or incensed right now. So you're causing me a mental health issue. So really, if there's a mental illness, it's actually you. I would like to take a pill
you can all be mentally unwell together
from my life. Going back to
the
the state here, like most of the female winners in this sport, they are hitting around 22 to 24 seconds, which is exactly what the gold medalist won here. And then also following up with what you said.
What's your point?
My point is this is normal for a woman.
No, you're
this
missing
is
the
normal
point.
speed for a woman in a race. But let's get back to what you're saying. You're talking about women's safety in changing rooms. Let me finish, please. You're talking about women's safety in changing rooms. That's what Esther brought this conversation down to. But what I do know about is that 1 in 3 women in America are abused violently in their lifetime. And in every single day in America, 13,000 women are a victim. Why are we talking about one trans woman being in a changing room?
How dare you, a man, say anything about women feeling unsafe
I am allowed to talk about safety
with biological men? No, you can't, because you're not a woman. You have never had a period. You've never been a woman.
This right here is that one good argument. You never been a woman. How can you discuss a woman? How can you be a woman? Trendy. Best argument of all. Men can't be women. But yet again, women have voted and allowed men to come into y'all spaces and take over. There are beauty pageants that mostly women win that now y'all women are letting men. And I'm saying women because yet again, all this stuff started off as voting first before it came anything else. Before it got this out of hand.
What I'm saying, Esther, is that you're picking on one. Well,
I'm not picking on that. I'm talking about the fact that women around the world are being affected because we're validating a scientific.
But wait, you're shouting at biological men. Your words. Why am I? And you're allowed to talk about biological men. So why am I not allowed to talk about women?
Hang on. We are conflating various issues here. So let's get back to the actual issue we want to debate, which is the issue of this young sophomore, Aidan Gallagher. I come back to Tommy here. You know, I know this debate always inspires everyone to get very angry, and there's lots of allegations of transphobia and so on. I really think they're missing the central point. There is a reason we separate sexes in sport. And the reason, like I said, when the Olympics are in Paris later this summer, if you allowed women and men to compete in a generalized way, then women would win almost no medals. Literally, other than one or two events, possibly equestrian, possibly archery, there are very few things anything that involves.
Yeah, I notice how she get mad when he speaks the truth. Like that's facts. If men and women played the same sport at the same time, especially in the Olympics, there'll be a few women that'll win a medal. We don't want to see that. We want to see women succeed. We want to see women grow. So therefore, they have their own sport, their own section, their own crew, their own everything. Man, I just found out that, softball is finally professional. They got a professional volleyball. These are women who been playing this sport for a very long time and finally got some professionalism besides just sitting up here and playing just tennis. Because I think tennis and golf was like the only true professional thing that you can actually make a big check on besides the WNBA going across seas. But for real, in that fatality, it's just the only place. And yet again, now that you got more sections to grow, I really want men to come in those sections and take over, is my question.
Power or stamina or speed or no.
Piers, can I ask you a question really quickly?
Yes.
Because have you ever undergone any kind of like hormone replacement therapy?
Oh, you mean chopped off his penis? Because that's
I haven't.
Hang on. I'm not talking to you, Esther.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Okay.
I'm talking to Piers.
Yeah.
Because actually, the body does undergo an incredible amount of toil.
What it doesn't do, Francesca, I've heard this argument.
Hang on.
It doesn't change. It doesn't change your body mass.
No,
it doesn't.
It
doesn't.
It does.
No,
it
doesn't.
Absolutely can change your body mass.
No, it doesn't.
Absolutely. The amount of
you
hormones
remain as muscular. You know how I know this? Talk to someone like Caitlyn Jenner, who was, as a man, was the decathlon gold medal winner for the United States of America, and was then, when she took up golf, having transitioned, was told she could tee off from the women's tees. Right, the women's tees are 50 yards further ahead than the men's. And she said she was winning every tournament.
Asking Caitlyn Jenner for any advice or practical information is like asking you, Piers, for how to get a six-pack. Like, what are we doing?
Actually, I've got quite an impressive growing six-pack, as my Instagram feed will
tell you. The point is that your body undergoes a lot of changes. It's actually incredibly difficult to compete.
I want to point this out.
Tommy.
Piers, I want to point this out because your guests here, I mean, talk about the snake eating its own tail. They're sitting there talking about trans rights and affirming transgender ideology, but then they're saying that Caitlyn Jenner, who is probably the most famous trans person, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Because Caitlyn Jenner is not only a Republican, but Caitlyn Jenner also calls out biological men competing in women's sports. So your guests sit here and they cry boo-hoo tears about trans rights, but then they dismiss Caitlyn Jenner. It's amazing. These are also the same people who claim to be feminists, but also don't care about actual women being robbed of opportunities.
Yeah.
That's why liberalism is a disease. And you can just let these people talk and they argue with themselves, Piers.
The point is, if Aidan Gallagher competed according to their biological sex, they would not be succeeding. They wouldn't be winning state championships. They would actually not even be qualifying for the finals. That is the point everyone's missing.
Piers,
is that actually
why do you care about
women's integrity, women's sport?
But you don't. Have you done a segment on Caitlin Clark and pay disparity? Have you done where were you when the U.S. women's national team?
He doesn't need to.
You have no idea.
Well, hang on,
Francesca, you have no idea. Actually,
shut up.
You have no idea what I've said about women's pay.
What about when the women's national team wins in the United States, right? They've won like 4 times at this point. And what happens? Oh, Megan Rapinoe, who is both a lesbian and also like one-time knelt during the national anthem. She's not a real patriot. They freak out. Donald Trump tweets about her.
No, you're missing Megan Rapinoe. Megan Rapinoe is a very, very good football player, but also incredibly irritating. And I noticed that when she retired, it was only then she said that she wanted trans women to be playing in the American women's national team. In other words, when it wasn't possible for that person to take her position. Because here's a scenario for you. Lionel Messi puts his hand up and says, actually, I'm feeling like a woman today. Do you play him in the American women's national team, Francesca? Yes or no?
Lionel Messi had to undergo an incredible...
Yes or no?
He had to undergo an incredible amount of treatment when he was young. He had a bunch of like.
Would you allow him to put his hand up, say he's a woman,
This is the mess is the mess that we're dealing with, and I feel like it's a waste of time when it comes to taxpayers' money. And this is why I discuss things like this. And I wanted to go over it because yes, I really, 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 really do feel like that's a waste of taxpayers' money. Even go over that. Even go over that. Now, and in sports, you did have Chicago and Indiana play for the first time on the court. It did get physical. It did get down. Okay. I don't know where the highlights at. I thought the highlights would have been pointed up, but this is them talking at the end of.
Ladies, in your last game, post game, you told the fans, stick with us. We are piecing things together. You get your first win at home in front of a sellout crowd. Can you describe what that moment and that feels like?
It feels really good, and honestly, I still don't feel like we played all that great of a game. We really kind of struggled offensively, but great defense. That's what's going to take to win. And then once we get the offense clicking a little bit more, it's going to be special. So just proud of our group. Happy for our fans. They were awesome today, so it's fun.
Melissa, what is this like for you being inserted back into the starting lineup? Coach said she needed a little bit more from you, especially from the leadership standpoint. How can you describe your impact tonight?
I mean, it was a good game for us all.
If I can find the highlights, I stopped because this girl right here was balling. Caitlin Clark is a good player, yes and no, but this girl right here during that game was balling. I just want to put that out there.
Overall, I mean, we got to stop letting people come back into the game, but I thought we executed well. We stuck with it. We played together.
I think you guys get a little bit of a break coming up after this. I know that's a foreign thing for you. So you do get the 2 days, but when you're thinking about the next step that you guys have to go to in order to continue to string wins together, what does that look like?
I think it's executing. The little spurts have really killed us where we haven't been all connected. So that's just going to come with practice. Next week, we're able to have some good practices, but we have another one tomorrow. So hopefully this gives us some confidence.
I have one last thing for you, the play of the game, which we feel like, I want your opinion. You get the team defense still, and then you also pass it up to Erica Wheeler, and then Kelsey Mitchell finishes. How can you describe what that looks like for you guys and the energy you bring on the offensive end?
I mean, just playing together, sticking with it. We all want to win. We want to win for our fans, and I mean, we played hard.
Sports Center top.
We play hard. Now, I can't lie. She balled. It was a good game. Highlights right here.
Rebound, 6 assists.
So, this is the game that a lot of people wanted to see. Chicago versus Indiana. Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark professionally on the court. It was a good game. You know what I'm saying? Indiana won, like you said at the end. And yeah, this is what you wanted to see. This is what you wanted to see. This is what type of game you was looking for. You know, the intensity, the Chicagos, the South Carolinas, and you could just name the college. You know what I'm saying? And people don't think that now they're in the professional college get recognitions too, because you got the honor manana. Oh, I just said that so wrong. You got people that come out there that belong to the school, coming to represent. Yeah, all them South Carolinas out there. I don't want to talk about South Carolina because that's the biggest state. LSU, South Carolina, Iowa. Coming out, whatever school you went to, they at this game. It was packed. Come on, man. Look at that. You're not really hearing that about the WNBA. So it's beautiful. It's a good thing to see. I'm proud of it. Fun to watch. Caitlin Clark, open wide, still misses. And this is my thing when I be watching this, because I have been watching Caitlin Clark a little bit more than I watch the other teams because it's just the hype, except for my aces. The thing I say with Caitlin Clark is not familiar with the floor. And she had a whole off season to actually play in that gym, get on that floor, get it working. This right here would have been butter. It would have bing, miss, grab a rebound. See, I just believe it's the floor. Just I haven't practiced on this floor. I haven't played on this floor. You know, and shot that 100 some odd shot that she normally shoots as a professional on a professional floor to get the comfort, the warmth. I notice like that's how it is when I be playing my game and stuff. That's how it gets. Like I just got to get that familiar, and they got to clean some of that up. Some of that sloppy ball playing that you be seeing, they got to clean that up. They got to clean that up. That stuff be missing. Ooh, Reese with the rebound. But as you see, man, it's a good game. This look like the actual game, not the highlight. So let me just stop playing that so I don't get in trouble. But I just want to play that because yet again, I wanted to show you some of the games. Now, what if a man decide to get up in there and play? It's gonna be a different story. It's gonna be a different story. And that's why you don't want that. That's why you don't need that. And we hope we can change something different about the situation. Y'all, I do gonna take a quick commercial break. Hopefully I can come back. But when I come back, I'm probably just gonna have a quick just something just playing off in the background. All right. Be back. You hungry? You hungry? No. Hmm? You sure? You sure? Yes, no? Okay, nigga. Don't sit there and hesitate and answer me, nigga. When I ask you something, I want to know right then and there. Don't fucking sit around and play with me. I'm gonna hit you in your head. What? You got something to say? Yeah, ain't hit nobody. I'm gonna hit him again before the crap in his head. No, I was asking was he hungry or he said no. Well, damn, y'all. I could have had this up. Y'all supposed to be watching the video. My bad. I know it's a horrible show, y'all, but y'all still sticking with me. I appreciate it. So give me one more second.
confidential mistresses who've been paid off. Are you going to dig up and prosecute every one of those zombie cases?
No, probably not. And this boiled down to, despite all the sort of unseemly sordid details, these were internal miscategorizations of payments that didn't actually cause any financial harm to anyone. There was no victim that they then turned into 34 felonies. It is a wild thing to see.
Campaign, how did they document the payments to the law firm that paid for the Steele dossier? How did Hillary Clinton's campaign, what was the bookkeeping there?
Interesting question. And Anita, on that Politico headline, the reluctant prosecutor, there are a few problems with that when it comes to Donald Trump.
Yeah, I think a lot of people chuckled over that tweet. Alvin Bragg made no secret that he wanted to get Donald Trump. I mean, that's out there. Everybody heard it. He ran on it. Everybody knew it. So that headline is, it's interesting. It's kind of troubling, I think.
It's wrong.
It's wrong. And back to your question about what was the crime. I mean, we have a lot of very smart legal scholars on our air. Jonathan Turley is one of them. And I heard him asking over and over again, what is the crime? If he's not sure of what the crime is, then who can be sure of it?
And there are some Trump hostile legal analysts at other networks that we won't mention who also were sort of struggling to come up with a crime, let alone 34 felonies, but guilty across the board, Joe. I've seen a lot of people on the Democratic side, at least some of them saying, okay, this is really bad for Trump. This is what we wanted. People aren't going to be able to pull the lever for a convicted felon. There are people on the right saying, nope, this is going to solidify Trump's lead and he's going to win now because people are really angry and they're going to, like the guy we played in the clip, I'm going to register and vote because it's so wrong. I'm not confident which way this goes. I think time will tell, obviously, but how are you feeling about it here in the first 48 hours or so?
The crazy part about all of this is that you hear more people talking about they're going to vote for Trump than people that's going to come out on these polls and say they're not going to vote for Trump. Why are Trump supporters more loud than Biden supporters? Because they're not real Biden supporters. That's what it looks like to me.
Yourself.
No feelings, guy. I'm looking at the numbers, and I'm looking at the fundraising numbers, and I'm seeing $53 million raised by the Trump campaign in 24 hours since the conviction. Think about that for a moment. The Biden campaign didn't raise that amount of money in an entire month, and 30% of those donors to Trump never donated to the Trump campaign in 2016 or 2020. That means he's bringing in people that have never voted before.
Oops. Now that number right there, y'all, is what I be talking about, and that ain't nobody else is gonna say or tell us and be like, okay, Dan, did you hear that Biden had more numbers? Nah. You hear Trump had more numbers, raised more money. And you want to sit up here and be like, okay, because I try to sit up here, even though I don't understand how my computer doesn't have a better log than me going on my YouTube news or something like that with some coverage. But yet again, you're not going to really sit up here and say that you see news coverage about Joe Biden raising money or people coming out here after the fact that this went down. Okay, 34 charges, Trump. Cool. Where's the uproar that everybody, okay, he's going to jail? Where's that at? That's what I be looking for. And I'm truthfully looking for it. And it seemed like now, and I got Prime. Is that even more crazier to me that I got Prime and I still can't see the type of news coverage that I want to see that's supposed to be out here trying to put this man in the grave? Is that weird or wrong, or am I tripping? I'm looking it up. I know I subscribe to damn near every news coverage outlet out there. I'm looking at something right now. This is probably a little bit better of a video just for shits and giggles. Just for shits and giggles of this trials and tribulations. Sorry for the internet service, y'all. They're telling me I do got to go get another internet box and stuff like that. So I do apologize for the bad service. I really do.
I want to get your reaction to something the beautiful women at The View said. They were lost in this kind of state of euphoria over the Trump conviction.
What was your reaction? I got so excited, I started leaking a little bit. I want the judge to give him 6 months. You're convicted of felonies. You got to do a little bit of time. This is what you would have to do.
I spent this morning speaking to someone from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. He believes that they will recommend a 1-year term in prison. And that is because when you spend a year in prison in New York or under, you serve in Rikers Island. Okay?
Laura,
They
this
want
is
him at
more of the
Rikers.
ideological. Yeah, this is the ideological fantasia we saw playing out when Trump was in office. Remember Kathy Griffin with the decapitated head, or the rappers shooting Trump in their videos? This is more of the same. But whatever it is, let me make one point. I doubt the verdict is the only reason Joy Behar is leaking, but I'll leave it to the urologist to figure that out.
Oh,
I'm more stunned that Cloudy Hostin didn't call for the death penalty. But have you ever seen such jubilation, Laura? Congressman Bauman, he was literally dancing after the verdict. Look at this guy. Can you believe this?
They have such a. Remember when they always try to pretend this is a somber moment for America? This is a somber proceeding, and we're respecting all the norms. And no, I've never seen. This is malicious. This is malicious. But what do you expect? Look at her.
Looks like Martha Graham.
Now,
I like how they talk about that. And I ain't gonna lie. Even though we supposed to be professional about this, and this is what you shouldn't. I don't mind the celebrations for the little things, and Trump supporters sit back and like, okay, it's another one. He raising this money, he raising that money. It's just like, okay. I think this is the most common I've seen the Trump supporters at, because I think it's like, it's over, it's done. What else do we need to say or do? They're like, come on, man. There's nothing that y'all can say or do that's going to tell me that this man is not going to win or lose. Look at what they're doing. Like, look at what they really, really is doing to the boy. So that's where I got confidence. And you see, and everybody's talking about the grin that he put on when he was asked, and how everybody got this little devilish little grin. Look how
wasn't he asked about being responsible for the prosecution of Trump when he's kind of that weird
and
grin?
that smile.
Everybody's talking about that smile. Now, this smile should be everywhere and show you, like, that's a smile you need to show of a winner, of a guy that's doing what his peers want him to do, and that's breaking it down and being that type of person. That's all. That's how I look at it.
It was so weird. When I saw that, Laura, I thought, I've seen that smile before, but where? Oh. But then I thought it reminded me of something more iconic, you know, not
I am looking for like something else to show y'all, but what else can we show? It don't get no better, no worse than that. It really don't. Y'all really get to see what I be looking up, huh? Yep. Look like this look like the police officers around me. Get off my girlfriend.
Can you take these off a little bit? It's okay. And I want all y'all badge numbers because I'm pressing charges on
On the
Yep,
17th
that's all
of
you gotta
January
do.
2024, officers were dispatched to a local seafood restaurant. Apparently, 3 girls were causing trouble, harassing the staff, and threatening to quote-unquote beat their asses. When officers arrive, the girls were already in their car ready to leave. Luckily, they were stopped.
They're in a
That's
gray
really-
Honda. They're outside yelling. Can't miss them.
Like I said, you're not gonna talk to me no type of way.
Right up in North Cliff. Here, there's enough of you. I'll go talk to the manager.
We got our refund. Now we up this bitch. What you talking about?
Here, you stay out here with them. There's already 3 of them. I'll be all right.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes. What do you have for me?
I was the first one to deal with them, so they walk in. I come up front, and they're literally holding the list, pretending like they're about to throw them.
All right.
So I look at them, I give them a mom look. I'm like, all right, just let it go. You know what I mean? They sign their receipt, and they think it's all cute to fling the pen at me. I let that go too.
Okay.
They're touching everything. Is this real? Is this real? Touching, sniffing. So I have Ashley come up, and then Ashley comes up because she's my tougher big sister type.
Well, I tell them to leave, and they start telling me they're gonna punch me.
Well,
And
that's what they were saying when
I
I was
said,
behind
just
the
do
desk.
it. So then I said, get out. I refunded their thing. They're outside. They're banging on the windows, screaming. So then I come outside, and I'm like, now you're outside. You want to yell? And that's when you guys pulled up.
Okay. So, are you a manager or
Yes.
anybody manage? What do you want to do? Do you want to press charge against
Yes,
them?
absolutely.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
They got to get
For-
their act cleaned up.
Okay.
For trespassing, I asked them
Well,
to leave. They threatened me.
okay.
They threatened my staff
Okay. What did they threaten you with?
to hit us, to punch us, to beat our ass.
All 3 of them did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll have to get written statements from you guys, and then have you sign tickets since you're the manager, and we'll head up. Okay. Excuse me. They, did you get their IDs? All right. Yeah, we do. They want to press charge against you, so yes.
Charges for what? We ain't do nothing. We ain't pay our hands on nobody. We ain't break shit. We ain't do none of that. So what you pressing charges for?
Get out of the car.
Okay, so what are they pressing charges for?
Aggravated menacing, trespassing.
Trespassing what?
Get out of the car.
Trespassing. How's it trespassing? We came up here to get some food.
Because they asked you to leave, and you didn't leave. Get out the car.
They just tried to shut the door. One out.
Brad, what do you need? What do you need?
He's like, what do you do? What do you do?
I'm gonna take you. Give me your hands.
This just does not look good for the cops. I ain't gonna lie, even though the girls, but they was pressing charges.
Give me your hands. Rip my fucking badge off. You're fighting. Give me your hands.
We're pressing charges. And you brought my phone. And you brought my phone.
Yes, I got your badge.
Sorry, I got your shit.
You're going to jail too.
You're going to my mama. We ain't do shit to these people, bro. We ain't do shit to these people, bro.
Let's get these two.
We ain't do shit to these people, bro.
I know. Let's go. Let's go.
You breaking my heart.
Get up.
Where's my shoe at?
Go get it.
Ow, you pulling my arm.
It's still in the car.
Okay, so he's pulling my arm, sir. These things are too fucking tight, dude.
Don't fight us. This car.
I wasn't even trying to fight you. I was trying to grab papers all throughout the court.
You were.
Can you take these off a little bit? I'm done. I'm cool.
Once we need to come, I'm sure this one's mine.
It's the I'm done. I'm cool. Don't, I'm wrong. for me, oh my God. I'm cooperating.
Where's your ID?
I don't have ID on.
How old are you?
22. This one's too tight. It's squeezing me.
Well, don't fight.
Who did I fight? What random cameras back? All I did was try to grab for her.
Have cameras running.
So who did I ever swing on you? I've never swung on you, sir.
Listen, I said she's under arrest.
And I tried to grab her back. That's all I did.
You slammed the door on me.
How was she under arrest? All you said was you need IDs.
And I said you're under arrest. And you kept fighting.
I never swung on you.
And you pulled her. So you're going to get another charge. You're going to obstructing official business. Copy. And you broke my shit. You ripped my badge off while we're fighting. I'll get it back to you.
Okay. Was I wrong for laughing? Probably. I'm so sorry. But that was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I think it's in the car.
He said, can you let these talk about me? I'm cool. I'm done now. And it's snowing, it's cold.
Passenger side, right?
Where is y'all at?
No.
Stand in the door, Jeremy. I'm going to check
I
real quick.
didn't read either.
I don't got nothing else.
All right, have a seat. Have a seat.
Now that they have the two aggressors under control, let's swing back to the gray Honda and see what'll happen to the rest of the people in the car.
What am I getting arrested for? What am I getting arrested for? What? What am I getting arrested for? I didn't in there, and then when they kicked me out, I got out. No, I'm not. Why am I going to get arrested for something that I'm not getting arrested for something I didn't do?
You have no choice.
You're not validating. You're not arresting.
You have no choice. You need to step out. I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to pull you out of the car. Please step out before I have to. Step out.
Going there and asking. I didn't even do it.
Step out.
Debbie, I get to Red Crab. They trying to arrest us.
Ma'am.
Oh, what?
Debbie, I get to Red Crab. They trying to arrest us.
Ma'am. Get off the phone.
Not the guy banging on the set that she can get arrested.
I need you to come get the car. I'm being so serious. I need you to come get. I need you to come get the stuff.
Ma'am, hang up the phone and step out.
I'm being so serious.
This is your last warning, ma'am. Step out or I'm going to pull you out of the car. I prefer not to do that.
And they already put all of their hands on us. They put their hands on us. They put their hands on all of us. Every single last one of us. Every single last one of us. Every single last one of us. They already put their hands on every single last one of us. Every single last one of us. Every single last one of us. I promise you. I promise you. Guess what? Guess what? We have to come up here. Come up here to Red Crab. Come up here.
Relax, ma'am.
Come up here. Come up here. Come up here. Because the bitches inside think it's funny. Every hoe
Relax, ma'am. Stop pulling away from me.
Every hoe inside Red Crab, they think it's funny. They think it's funny.
Come on.
Come on to Red Crab. Please go in there and tell them I didn't do anything. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. People coming up here. It's okay.
Ours is open.
It's okay. They coming up here. It's okay.
We coming up there.
I don't have anything. Every hoe inside Red Crab. Every hoe inside Red Crab, they think it's funny. Can you please go in there and tell them I didn't do anything?
No, you've been here yelling and screaming since we got here too.
But yet again, you do have a person up here that's telling her people to come up here to Red Crab, come up here to the place. That is a threat. That's you're threatening in front of police officers while you're getting arrested. I don't think black people be understanding or looking or thinking or anything when they get mad. They just mad at the time. And yes, I'm a victim of it too when I get mad and upset. But yet again, this right here is little. You're incriminating yourself.
She's got the keys. Okay.
Come on.
Who's got the fob for this kid? What car is it? J-Bo. We need the fob. You got anything on you, man? A gun? Okay, we're gonna pay it on. Where are the keys?
It's in the car.
Nothing's in the ignition.
Yes, it is.
There's nothing in. I tell you, there's nothing in the ignition.
You're not even asking him. I didn't even in the car. What do you want me to drag you around in handcuffs? I didn't do anything.
Girl, you a victim of with some hood black girls doing too much. That's what
At
you
approximately 8:19 p.m., an officer-involved shooting occurred in our city at the intersection of South Edgewood Terrace and Burton Avenue. This incident stems from an investigation into an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon that occurred the day before, involving the same suspect, later identified as Devoria Thompson, a 33-year-old black male driving the same suspect vehicle. On Saturday, May 18th, around 6 p.m., the day prior to the officer-involved shooting, the suspect, Mr. Thompson, is observed on video pulling up to a business located on the 4800 block of Miller Avenue. He then exits his vehicle and begins to approach an alleyway behind this location. A gun is visible on his side. The suspect approaches someone who is currently off camera, and after a brief interaction, Mr. Thompson pulls out the handgun and shoots at the victim, striking him one time in the shoulder. He then retreats back to his vehicle and leaves this location. The victim is then seen emerging from this location with an apparent wound to his arm. The victim of that shooting was treated at a local hospital for his injuries. While officers were on scene gathering information regarding—
Stop playing, y'all. Ooh. This is the dope game. This is the dope game. You got fronted. Somebody fronted you some money. This is
back
the
to
dope
his
game.
vehicle and leaves this location.
Hell yeah. This is what happens when you're dealing with the dope. You owe that man, you ain't paid him, you caught a bullet.
Emerging
Man,
from this
you up here
location with an
leaking.
apparent wound to his arm. The victim of
And
that
you walk
shooting was
off like it
treated at
ain't
a
nothing
local
to it.
hospital for
Damn,
his
hand
injuries.
hurt.
While officers were on scene gathering information regarding this offense, they were able to retrieve information that identified a potential suspect and also license plate information regarding the suspect vehicle. This information was soon thereafter entered into our system to be on the lookout for. The following day, now Sunday, May 19th, patrol units were advised that our system had a hit on the suspect vehicle and provided information on its current location. A Fort Worth police officer located the suspect vehicle and then activated his lights and siren in an attempt to get the suspect vehicle to pull over until other officers arrived.
I'll be traveling that vehicle, Burton, Edgewood. So that advisor said we're going to be going south on Edgewood from Burton. Hey, let's see him. Hey!
Your incident has been updated.
south on Edgewood, southbound on Edgewood. I may be hit. Stand by.
Maybe his standby.
We'll be going westbound on Berry,
Why
south
not?
on Hatchet.
Hey, you shot at me. I don't care if I'm hit. I'm finna get you. You ain't finna shoot at me and get away with it.
South on Hatchet still. Step up.
Ooh. Okay.
We are coming up to South Edgewood from Wyman. Westbound on Eastland. Westbound Eastland. The subject is armed. Subject is armed. Shots were fired. I need units to get to me. My unit has been hit. Clear the air.
During this pursuit, the officer's vehicle sustained damage that prevented him from continuing the pursuit.
I am out of it. My unit has died. He is in lane number 1, southbound on Miller. Lane 1, southbound Miller.
Officers continued looking for the suspect vehicle, while other officers tended to the wounded officer on scene. That officer was then transported to a local hospital where he received medical treatment. Fortunately, the officer was not shot. He suffered injuries from broken glass that cut his arm during the exchange of gunfire with the suspect. It was not known at this time whether the suspect was struck by any of the officers returning gunfire. With information related to the suspect vehicle, we were able to track down and locate the suspect vehicle.
Now he shot 2 people with your police car and got away with it. That's crazy.
A residence located in the 5500 block of Summit Ridge Trail in Arlington. A perimeter was established, and the suspect was observed running from the main house towards a shed in the backyard. SWAT arrived on scene and apprehended Mr. Thompson without further incident.
See your hands! Hands! Your hands! Let me see your hands! All right, take your time. Take your time. Lay down on your stomach. Lay down on your stomach. Take your time. Lay down. Lay down flat. I'm ready, bud. You ready? I'm ready.
It was at this time that officers learned that Mr. Thompson had suffered a gunshot wound to his lower back. Mr. Thompson was transported to a local hospital where he is currently being treated for his injuries.
Push that other hand in. His fingers are coming out. Right here. There you go. Yep. Let's get him over to attack, man. Get him up.
Mr. Thompson is being charged with aggravated assault against a public servant, along with his aggravated.
Until next time, y'all. It's been a good one. Peace out.